you know, they say just do it, and here we are. Hey, welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining, especially as this is my first video that I'm actually uploading online. I'm like many of the people who say they're gonna start, come up with 1,000,001 ideas, never starts. 10 years later, she's 25 years old, just trying to... Anyways, here I am. In today's video, I want to talk about my AmeriCorps experience, how I got here, how it's going, and some tips and advice that I have to offer. Alrighty, so I will start off with, what is AmeriCorps? If you don't know and you just randomly clicked on this video, AmeriCorps is a part of CNCS, the Corporation for National Community Service. I think I got that right. If I didn't, boom, I'm gonna list it here. But yeah, and through this program they have 3 different tracks that you could go. You could go through AmeriCorps Vista, which is what I am, and the main goal focus of this group is alleviating poverty, and that could be through workforce development, through food drives, through working at a shelter, or it could be teaching in a after-school daycare program, or it could be farming on a co-op land. There's different possibilities for what entails under alleviating poverty as an AmeriCorps Vista. Usually you're positioned within a nonprofit or a similar organization. It could be religiously affiliated or not. Or it could just be a larger organization, and they have varying focuses. It could be legal, maybe you want to focus on tribal, whatever your skills are, there is an area for you to get locked and loaded and engaged in AmeriCorps Vista. Look at me promoting. Disclaimer, they have no affiliation to this video. I think there's an official statement, but that's my statement. This is all my own. It's a really awesome, amazing program with great benefits. For AmeriCorps Vista, there are varying lengths of time that you can serve. There's summer associates. You can serve half-time and full-time. I currently serve full-time, and I'll be serving for a year. I'll go into the details about that later. But so the benefits of doing that is you get non-competitive eligibility at the end of your service, similar to Peace Corps. And you also get an education award, and it's called the Seagull Education Award, and it's roughly $6,000 that you can either put towards paying off loans while you're serving, or put towards future education ventures. Yeah. So a little bit about me and my AmeriCorps service. So I am an evacuated Peace Corps trainee. I know, sad. I was stationed in Costa Rica as a community economic development volunteer, and I was only there for 2 weeks in March before everything crumbled. COVID hit, and I was evacuated along with the 7,000 plus volunteers that were around the world. Yeah, so I found myself back home. I went from stability, a great job, great health insurance, so important, you know, a nice car, all of these material things that we pride ourselves in as Americans, having achieved them, and I gave it all up and sacrificed it for the Peace Corps. And so then COVID happened, and I found myself back here with absolutely nothing, because I gave it all away, and I was living at my parents' house for 6 months. Dark time in my life. You want another video? We could talk about it. but with the help of my cohort, you know, I was able to get through, and obviously family and friends, especially family. Yeah, I was able to get through that rough time. And while I was home for those 6 months, I really was thinking about, okay, well, what exactly am I going to do now? I've experienced something absolutely amazing in a short span of time. I have found my tribe of people committed to service, and I am pumped up and amped, and I just don't think that I can go back to, I don't know, I can't go back to normal anymore. I can't go back to that 9 to 5. What do I do? And so Peace Corps, through a lot of their correspondences during this time, encouraging us, you know, pushed looking at AmeriCorps, and that right now the United States needs us Peace Corps trainees and volunteers that were overseas. They need our heart, they need our spirit. Get connected. So I did. I applied for AmeriCorps. Honestly, at that point, I just wanted to do anything to move forward. So I applied to a lot of positions, and I heard back from a good bit, but I decided to go with Open Media Foundation in Denver, Colorado. So that is where I'm at now. It's been a crazy wild experience, moving from the South to Denver and experiencing winter. I moved here in September. September 2020, and yeah, it was a wild, crazy ride. My dad drove up here with me. We hit a deer, unfortunately, but all is well with the world. All is well with my car too, and here I am. So a little bit about my experience. It has been a roller coaster. So what it looks like for me, another part of the benefits that I forgot to mention is that we live on a stipend. Yeah. And a part of being an AmeriCorps Vista is not only alleviating poverty, but you're living essentially at the poverty level to kind of really be in the thick of it with the communities that you're serving. So the year that I'm in Denver, hella expensive. My stipend, what that looks like, it's roughly $1,300 a month. Yeah, so I know that's not a lot. So me going into this, I had to think realistically about where I was gonna live, what I could afford, and what bills I was gonna be able to keep up with. Fortunately for me, having just got back from the Peace Corps and having got rid of a lot of any real financial responsibility that I had, my main biggest setbacks were, okay, I've got to figure out transportation. I no longer have a car. Fortunately, I was able to muster up some money and buy a car for cash. I will say there's a huge benefit to not having a car note as you go through service, because $1,300 is not a lot. But AmeriCorps is really great with giving a relocation allowance, so they made my transition and move here very fluid, very easy, very seamless. It was very stress-free for the most part on my end for my experience. I know that it's not the case for everyone, but yes, there's a huge benefit, I would say, to not having a car note. So if you can do that, do that. Look for affordable housing. The truth of the matter is you will probably have 1, 2, 3, 4 roommates. Right now I have 3 wonderful roommates there. I got really, really lucky. And so my rent isn't that expensive. It's expensive. It's Denver, Colorado, but it's not like all of my my stipend. So that's a benefit. I have heard telltales, gosh, of getting into a new city, getting excited, buying that really nice place, and people not realistically thinking about their financial responsibility once they get settled in and finding themselves in a rut and just financially stretched thin. AmeriCorps really does promote that we apply for services through the states such as Medicare, SNAP, both of those things I'm on. I say without any shame. There is no shame in it. Again, we are living at the poverty level. And so I really, really, really encourage that as you go through this, that you decide to apply for that aid if you need it. And when you do apply early, because especially during the time of COVID right now, application process is It takes a long time, so you don't want to be without health insurance. And AmeriCorps does offer a supplemental health insurance, but that's not for any pre-existing conditions. So that's the caveat there. But like overall, I really like what I do. A little bit about what I do at my organization, Open Media Foundation. I work with another AmeriCorps Vista, which it's a huge bonus. Working with other visas and having that support network. And before I go into what I do, I would really recommend that you create that solid base before you get there. Reach out to the people that you meet in orientation before you start your service, and also on the different platforms that AmeriCorps has for us AmeriCorps Vistas. There's a locator, so you can find all of the volunteers in your area, get connected. You're going to need that resource. I mean, well, yeah, they are a resource, but you're going to need that support, because while you're living on that stipend, not everybody's going to understand that, you know, you're in Denver, girl, why can't you come to the club? The club's not open, but you know, the restaurant, or why don't you get your $600 ski pass? Like, you're gonna want to be around people that are in a similar situation as you, looking for those fun, affordable things to do, and just to have that support network as you go through your service, because it's rough. You're poor. I'm just kidding, but you are. But yeah, so just make sure that you have that. But okay, so a little bit more into what I do. I work with a partner. She's absolutely amazing. Super blessed to have her. And what we do is we work on the career engine at Open Media, and a huge part of our mission is to diversify the media industry within Colorado. And so what that looks like for us, we have a supplemental HR hiring service, and media organizations will reach out to us to hire for various positions, their goal being to get a more diverse applicant pool to hire for those spots that they're missing within their organization, whether that be a Latino population, Black population. You know, their main goal is they want to diversify their staff, so they reach out to us. And then a big part of what I do, I partner with the other Vista that heads really the career engine, and my big thing is I manage a grant called the Next Gen Sector Partnership, and I convene working group meetings with these media organizations to talk about ways how we can diversify our staff, whether it's in the newsroom or, you know, in their organization, the radio station, how they can diversify their staff, and about retention, and then also about media engagement. I hold a working group for that, and how the community can actively engage with the media, and what representation looks like, and making sure that we keep that as we're telling stories. Yeah, so that's a huge part of what I do with the organization. And the best part is you will get to dabble in a little bit of everything. I didn't really have a large grant writing experience in my background, but I do get to do that now. I will say a benefit of AmeriCorps is if you were coming in with little to no skills, or you're just coming from a completely different background. For me, my background is marketing. You know, this gives you an opportunity to really dabble into something else and maybe find a new passion or something that you're good at. For me, I found that you know, I think I'm pretty good at convening and organizing and getting people together around a common goal. So yeah, that's been a huge plus for me, a huge self-discovery for me, something that I had hoped that I would was going to experience as I went through the Peace Corps, because that was something that I was looking for, was a time to not only serve but really dig within myself to figure out what the next steps in my life were going to look like, what I wanted for myself, and really just kind of dig in and figure out what that purpose was for me. Such a millennial thing to say. What's my friggin' purpose? Existential crisis every month. Just kidding, it's better now. But yeah, so that's how things are going for me. For the most part, it's pretty excellent. But is it without its challenges? Absolutely not. I would like to go into this stating that you have to be doing this for the right reasons. If you're not doing the right reasons, you will not be fulfilled. Just like any job, that you'd get. You will be working with people that you might not get along with, or that have different communication styles than you do, or you might, you're coming into this thinking, okay, I have all of this that I want to bring, and a lot of these organizations have a set project and goal that they want to accomplish, and though they will give you the flexibility of working on your own projects, ultimately there is a goal, and your job is to fill that hole in which they're lacking, which is why they've reached out to CNCS AmeriCorps for you. I've heard so many stories, not only through AmeriCorps Reddit, but word of mouth, of people signing up for service and not being what they expect and then just leaving. You are signing up for a commitment. These organizations have hired you because they need you, and just because it doesn't look like how you expected it, or you were faced with these challenges that you couldn't have foreseen, and I do not want to invalidate, I think that's a word, anyone's experiences that's having a rough time and doesn't really know how to navigate them, and so the best option is to leave. I 100% back that up. But before you make that decision, I really challenge you to sit down and look at how you can make it work. What can you do to get past these challenges? These challenges could vary. Maybe you're in a very rural area, you are the only POC, or you're LGBTQ in a very conservative town, and you're working for a Christian nonprofit. Hopefully I hope you're thinking about these things before you're applying for them. But the mission could be so aligned with what you want, but the organization could be completely opposite of you and your character, and there's just so much that you may have to adjust to make that experience the best for you and for them. And the way I said that, it takes sacrifice on both ends. So with that being said, again, I really want to push this. Make sure that you're doing this for the right reason. Try to eliminate as much financial responsibility before you start your service, because it's going to be tough. I will not lie to you, it's going to be tough. But if you're doing this for the right reasons, it will be worth it. I actually also have a second job, and it's only every other weekend at a retirement home. But the odds that you will need a second job to help supplement your costs and living expenses are pretty high. You're fortunate if you don't have to, but you may, depending on what kind of debt or bills that you bring into this. So first tip, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Second, get rid of any major financial responsibilities that you have while you before you join. I cannot say this enough. I hear so many horror stories, personal and through Reddit. Reddit's a great resource for AmeriCorps, of people finding themselves in debt, having to, get a second job and work that job more than their AmeriCorps job, just to really kind of sustain themselves and keep themselves afloat. And that is not something you want to have to worry about while you worry about the stress of just doing your 24-hour service, 24/7 service. So alleviate any financial responsibility that you can. Put your loans in forbearance, get on that income-driven plan, pay off that credit card if you can. And this won't be possible for everyone, and get a used car in my instance, or if you do have a car note, make sure when you're finding housing that you're accommodating the cost of rent, water bill, electric bill, internet, on top of your car note, car insurance. Calculate all those costs before you start. Reach out, ask about how much your monthly stipend is, and make sure that that comfortably fits for you. Second, so important, alleviate as much financial responsibility as you can. And then those were like my two biggest tips as I go through this. I think my third tip is be picky. Be picky as you go through and you choose where you want to serve. I will say this. Sometimes you look at the application, you read the description, it sounds amazing. You get there, it's not as amazing as you thought. That isn't necessarily my experience, but it happens. Oh, it happens. So with that being said, do as much research beforehand. Make sure this is the place for you. And then if you get there and it just isn't how it turned out to be, remember why you decided to serve. Keep recalling those reasons and transform that experience into something that you would be proud of. You know, and whatever ideas that you want to implement, push those in a respectful way as you accomplish your original mission, but make sure you're getting as much out of it as you are putting in. Which leads me to my final tip, which I'm so glad I said that because I almost forgot to mention this. Do not overwork yourself. Do not set boundaries. Yes, it's, you know, our service is this 24/7. We're all the way on. We're always representing AmeriCorps, but you need to set healthy boundaries for yourself. Establish that early on with your supervisor. You're working from 8 to 5:30. Maybe you have to work some weekends. You know, but ultimately, in a sense, we are not getting paid for this. And so we're getting paid, and, you know, our stipend and our, you know, healthcare and all wonderful benefits that AmeriCorps affords us, but do not work yourself to death. Do not push yourself beyond a reasonable limit. Again, set those boundaries. I hear it time and time again from various people, and the burnout can be real. I mean, it's exciting. You want to do everything that you can. You want to keep going, but know your limits and know when to say, hey, I am at my capacity. This is all that I am able to handle on a day-to-day basis. You're gonna get excited. You're gonna want to take on every project. You can't take on every project. You can't take on every need that these organizations put towards you. Just be transparent, be open, and let them know. Yeah, create those boundaries. Don't overwork yourself. Give it 100, but keep that work-life balance there. Yes, we're all the way on, but reasonably, we're all the way on. Alrighty, I think that is it for my video. If you like this, this is so weird. I'm never done. Okay. If you like this, you can click the like button or subscribe. And if you want to see more videos, if you enjoyed this, if you want to hear more about AmeriCorps, or you have questions about the application process, excuse me, I would be more than happy to create another video. Be on the lookout for my second video. Yeah.